Why, hello model car fans. Welcome to the Muscle Car Modeler. My name is Raul. And this week I'm going to do kit contents on these kits right here. This is the Johan 69 Scrambler, or AMC Rambler, with the 390 engine and everything. And of course a Pro Street version of it as well, which is funny. But this is a kit that I've actually been asked a number of times if I built one, or if I will be building one on the channel. I do plan to build them, not in any kind of hurry to do them. And I think it's because some of these Johan kits really intimidated me. And some of that goes way back to when I could still get them new. Because when I can go to the hobby shop, one of the actual hobby shops around here at Valley West Mall, and I rode my bike there, they had the Sox and Martin Cuda, the Sox and Martin Superbird, and also the 64 Dodge Super Stock. And believe it or not, I still have all three of those. I built the Sox and Martin Cuda and the Superbird, but those two I waited till I got better at it, because I kind of started them, I lost some parts on one of them, but they were really intimidating to me, and they took a lot of fitting and a lot of work. But as a new modeler, they intimidated me. Now, here I am 30 years later. I have built probably 20 Johan kits, maybe more. But this was one of the ones that when you went to shows and everything, they seemed to be all over the place, and they could be had for decent prices. But all of that has been changing as supply has dwindled down. But I used to buy these kits mainly for the 390 engines. Really liked the engines, and I was putting them in the Javelin restorations when I was doing those, because I preferred this engine. The Javelin actually had an earlier version of the engine which wasn't correct, so I was buying these for the engines. But when it came to these kits, they intimidated me a little bit, because some of them, I've had some of the Johan kits where they cracked and broke easily. And this one has a removable trunk or an open trunk and some extra parts. And some of those kits and builds I've had trouble with, but never did it on one of these, so just kind of stayed away from them. So we'll kind of get into some of these here. But in this kit, this one cracks me up the most, because like these two portray the stock cars. And this one, for the longest time, I shouldn't say for the longest time, for quite a while, I actually thought this was a actual Pro Street car. But you know, you start looking at the pictures and realize it's not. And it's a much later issue. The barcode kind of tells a story there. But, you know, I'll get into the contents here in a second. But then there's these two, which this is probably my oldest one as far as box goes. And the only giveaway to that is this says a division of Seville Enterprises right there above Johan. And that's a sticker that was like added right to the box art. You can see it right on top there. So I think that was shortly after, but I don't think the kit itself, the box is probably just old stock and they added that to it. And, you know, I'm not sure how old this one is. But when it came to these, there were two paint schemes, and I always wanted to do both paint schemes. But, you know, this is, there's some of the kits that they offered at the time as well. Never had any of these for whatever reason. The police car I've kind of had my hands on a couple of times, but never actually bought it. The 64 Dodge Drag Racer, that's the one I was talking about that I picked up. But let's jump right into it here. And like this is one of my older ones. And there's a lot of nice stuff on here. Like here's the chrome tree. This chrome tree is actually really nice. But it's got the two Marlin shifters in here. The hood ornaments from the Marlin. The Magnum wheels. The mirrors, inside rear mirror. The grill, front bumper, rear bumper. These exhaust tips. A nice tack. The chrome valve covers for the 390. Carburetor. The Hearst shifter. This it's a breather, but I'm not sure if it's for any of these valve covers or whatnot. Then there's even the hood pins, which if you wanted to do those, you'd have to trim them, glue them on, or drill a hole. So, but this one has a really nice chrome tree, so set that aside. Here's the body and some of the parts. I'll kind of take it apart here a little bit. But it's got a really nice engine compartment, which I really liked. Body is actually pretty decent. It dates back to the 66, so the taillights aren't exactly right. Don't know about fixing them or leaving them alone. But the body is pretty decent. It's got its waves in it. It needs some of the body work and, you know, how much time you want to spend straightening it out, and back here too. So the body's seen better days, but all of this stuff can be fixed and worked. But that's the part that always intimidated me on this one, was it's got a trunk that opens, and making sure it works or just gluing it shut. This chassis, kind of basic, but kind of not. Some of the mounts and stuff, the frame back here, it's got a piece here. This one's got some flash on it, but at least this one's all here. But I'll show you another one on that and the reason. Quality has kind of been all over the place with these kits as far as flash goes, and some of the stuff. I've had some with missing parts. But there's the chassis. This one's got decent glass, got some scratches in it, needs some polishing, and some flash. And what actually looks like something actually in the plastic right there. Kind of funny, but yeah, that's like in the clear. So there's no getting rid of that. But I may not need to worry about it. And then you got the really nice interior tub. Kind of basic, typical for Johan at the time. But, you know, it's all there, and it can be built. When it comes to the rest of the kit, we got this tree with the multi-piece axle. You've got the cover, pumpkin, leaf springs, drive shaft, shock plates, and the shocks. Which is kind of cool that that stuff is there, but it's going to take quite a bit of work and, you know, a lot of stuff to put together and get more fiddly. So there's a word for you. So some of this stuff, you know, after looking at it, it's like, I don't know. That's just me. Here's this tree. You know, you got your, for the axle, here's that trunk lid, front and rear wheel backs, the steering wheel, fan, battery. Here's the bucket seats, the headrest for the bucket seats. There's multiple parts there. Seat belts, the exhaust manifolds, and everything. But this one's got all that stuff. And here we got a whole nother tree. Got your two exhaust pipes, so they're not molded in. Got these funky universal radiator hoses right there. The air cleaner that seals to the thing, another universal air radiator hose, I mean. And then you got this hose that loops around the heads with the valves in them and everything, which I thought those were cool. Here's a separate gas tank, radiator. Then two parts for the hood scoop, which is kind of a unique hood scoop, but, you know, two parts, so another seam to deal with there. And then we've got this tree, which had another set of heads, distributor, the coil mounted here, brake master, oil filter. Here's the intake with a single. Then the oil pan, fan belt, water pump, the blocks with the hole in it for the axle to go through it. A couple of more axles. Here's the hood, the front valance, and then here's that whole trunk floor. So you could detail the trunk and everything. And then last, here's the taillights that I had to buy because this kit was actually missing. But I tracked them down. So I either lost them or whatever, but I bought these. And then, you know, as time would tell or turn out, here's the dash had fallen off of one of the trees. Then I've got, here's the front cover where the water pump mounts, where it's got the fuel pump, and then the hose right there where the oil filter goes, I should say. That's where the oil filter goes. And then we've got our instructions. Oh, a couple more parts in here. Here's a starter. That's just a piece of flash. And then this part of the sprue that just says front and rear, that fell off. Kind of funny. And then the instructions and these decals, which I've got multiple sheets because I've had a few of these for parts. But I don't know how usable these actually are. These ones aren't cracking. But I think they do make reproductions of those. And here's the original tires. That's just a bag I threw them in, but the tires are pretty dirty on this particular example. But here's some Model House tires, 545s. These are direct replacements, fit these wheels perfectly. They're the same size. So I'm going to use these, and I bought a number of these because of it. And I also got a set of the drag tires, which this kit didn't have, but these are from like the Sox and Martin cars. So I threw those in there. Don't know if I'm actually going to use them, but that's this kit. So we'll put all this stuff back. That was one. Plan to build that one box stock. This one is the Pro Street, but as I mentioned, there's all the same pictures, just custom paint jobs, and then talking a little bit more about it, but all the details. But surprisingly, when you open this kit, and this one, you know, it's same glass. This one, the bag is still sealed. It's all in there, but it's all the exact same stuff. There's no extra parts in here at all. Seats, 2 sets of heads, engine, all the parts, they're exactly the same. Here's the chrome tree, a couple more scratches. Wheels are missing from this one. Couldn't tell you why. I think maybe I took them or, you know, borrowed them for something else, but that's okay. I got extras, but you know, here's all of this. This chrome's in decent shape. Then another set of those tires. And some of my missing parts, like here, this is kind of funny because there's 2 sets of taillights in there now. Carburetor, the exhaust tip, alternator. And oh, here's the wheels. They were re-chromed. So there's the 4 wheels. And then the decals, which this one here I got again. Another set of those, but those will normally come in there. But here's the Pro Street decals. But in here, it's all the same instructions, showing you all the stuff. Nothing extra thrown in this kit at all. So it's all the same stuff. So put this in here. But this one seems to be molded pretty good. I like how it's got that in the bottom here. New products, information, and price list, new car kits, new promotional models. So, you know, promoting the brand. So that's cool, but right inside the box. So we'll put this one back in here. But this one was going to be a different paint scheme, but still the same car. And then this one, it's the same stuff, but just showing you the wide range of quality that these have. Like here's another chrome tree, but if you look, the chrome is wrinkled. I mean, like too many applications of chrome on there. So this chrome tree, definitely heavy on the chrome and flash and whatnot. But one of these I don't really have plans for the body. It's the parts. And even the headlights. There's so much chrome on there that you almost can't see the detail on that. But yeah, that front bumper, if you look at the wrinkling on there, it's pretty bad. And I don't normally see this, so this is probably one of the first ones I've seen this way. Got 5 tires in this one. Don't know if it, you know, that was normal or not. But this is my most recent one where I used to be able to buy these kits pretty cheap. I got this one for $75 and it's pretty complete. A little bit different color plastic. A little thin right here on this side. But here's one of the things with this one. It's a little short shot in the middle of the chassis there. This is completely missing the center there. But that's okay. Like I said, I've got a resin kit that I only need certain parts of this. So this has the whole body, all that stuff. And then the rest of this is all the same. You know, all of that's there. So what I basically need out of one of these kits, there's the steering wheel, all the seats and all that stuff still. Just molded in just a more of a creamy color, but flash and whatnot. So a lot more cleanup on this stuff. Looks like it's missing a pair of the heads. So, and then there's the more axles. And there's the taillights. Here's the dash. And then there's another set of the decals, of course. Plenty and plenty of those. So looking this over, so it's got one set of heads, missing the other set of heads. But I do need the motor out of this. Let's see. There's a water pump in there. Don't see the water pump either. But anyway, one of these is for a missing link 71 SC Rambler. So I don't need all the parts for it. That's what I kind of marked this one for. But, you know, there might be a couple of parts that I need to find, or when I go through and start building these. But that's the one I'm most excited about building right now, is that one. But I figured I would give you a peek inside these boxes and what's in there, and what used to be a kit that I could pick up for $20, $25. But now, you know, like the last one, $75 kit. But they're getting up there, and they're getting harder and harder to find. But, you know, I used to be buying a bunch of these just for the parts. And some of them I sold off the extra parts because I was grabbing the motors and parted out the kits. And then I got to a point where it's like, why part out the kits? Because then I start running into one that was missing taillights. So I got taillights. Then I got another kit. Now I got, you know, an extra set of taillights. And here's a third kit. You got extra decals and some of that stuff. But that's kind of how collecting goes, and when your mind is picking up all these projects and what you plan to do with them. But anyway, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this peek into these kits and everything and the history. And hopefully I'll get to building one of these soon. But I'll definitely be working on that resin one here in the next year. That's the one I'm most excited about, and I want to get one of those built. But anyway, you guys, thank you for tuning in, subscribing, and all your comments and everything. And I really do appreciate it, you guys. And you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next time.